Hello, Copic in the craft room and Copic friends. Michelle Houghton here for week 8. Get my my fingers in there. Week 8 of finding Copic color combos. So I decided we go something a little bit darker. We've done a couple weeks of lighter colors. So I've got a deep red. There are these little berries kind of all over the Alaskan mountains and walking areas. And there's several different kinds. We're a little concerned about even trying them. We're guessing some are not edible, so we haven't ventured out. But these are gorgeous in color, and so this is what I wanted to bring to you guys today was these reds and really deep reds, and kind of looking at some of the reds that could be and some of the options. So the first thing I thought of is I really felt like the reds in this image had kind of a what am I going to say, more of an orange feel to them, and that they're not like a deep lipstick or burgundy red, but more of a little bit of an orange. And especially in these lighter areas in those berries, that those leaned in toward kind of a warmer, yellower red. And so the group of reds I immediately thought of are the R0s. So this was the R02, 05, 08. And you can see like the 02 gets a little too light. And what I feel like is that is approaching that highlight area where we see the white, it actually turns a little bit cooler as it hits into those lightest areas. So this is way too warm. But when I get out into kind of right outside that highlight area, this 05 and 08 are actually like spot on. You can't get a whole lot closer than those to that kind of mid range area. So I was really pleased with that. So then I went looking for a lighter shade that would cool down. And so what I looked at specifically were some that had kind of that higher saturation number, which is that second number on the marker, or that first, sorry, the first right after the letter. I'm looking for a higher number in that first spot. And so I tried the R32. So instead of a 02, I jumped to a 32, and that's going to tell me there's been some gray added in. It's going to cool it down a little bit. And you can see even from here, if you compared those two colors, we've got a really warm red and then it cools way down. So as I approach that color, that's much closer to what I wanted to get into. Now in an image like this, I would probably end up having to come back with some sort of white on top of everything. You can leave white areas, but a lot of times you're adding either a white colored pencil, a white opaque pen. In this case, I might use like a chalk pencil to add some of those, or colored pencil back in to add some of that soft highlight that has all of that detail in it. So that took care of kind of my light area and that mid-range area, but then I needed into that dark. And so I played a little bit more with even more saturation. I worked with some 5s and 8s to find that out. And of course, pulled out the big guns with a violet and some blue violets to finish it off. So like some of these, like this doesn't have a lot of it, but way at that edge. But even more so, some of these to the back, like this guy back here. See how dark that gets? We have very little of that yellow red showing at all. Now we're just in that shadow area. And the berry itself, there's variations of color on the berry itself. It doesn't just have to do with the shape. It has to do with actual berry changing in color. So we've got some of these that right at the base are considerably darker, and some have ripened further as well. So this is the combo that I came up with. And again, it's this huge range all the way from right at the edges of those highlights all the way around, but also into those deepest colors. And at the end, I found the two that I like, and you could kind of play with either. So the first color I laid down was the R32, which is called Peach. Sorry about that. And it's this kind of cooler, light pink red tone. And then the next two are the R05 salmon red. And look how orange this one looks. but I'll show you here in just a second what happens with that one. And then my R08, which is the vermilion. And that one's going to blend in right into that. So this one doesn't really need much blending. Just a few little taps, if anything. This one's going to need a blend. So this is back to R32. The beauty of it is I found it actually blended extremely easily and got me this beautiful transition between those cooler into those warmer tones, which I was pretty excited about. And that was the other reason I stuck with this combination, is it worked so well on the blending front. So then I jumped to an R5, R5-6 specifically. And then I'm going to put this to silent. Sorry. R5-6 specifically. And this one's called Current. This is going to cool it down even further and get it darker. And I'm going to show you guys this in comparison to that photo so you can see where we're at this point, because this is going to get us pretty darn close. So for a lot of these, some of these back ones, you could stop here. This could get you. But then I felt like I've got a few berries that went even darker in color, in shadow. So I wanted to get a little, push it a little further. You know me. So couple options. I first did the R8-9 dark red. And again, this could be a stopping point. And then I found two options for finishing. And one is the V99, which we've played around with a little bit. The other one is a BV29. So you can kind of see the difference. So BV29 is slate and V99 Aberdeen. So this is V99 and this is the BV29. Obviously more blue, way more blue, because it's a blue violet versus just a violet. Either one will work to finish this guy off. So R32 and then R05, R08. Then we jumped to R5-6, R8, right? Double check, 8-9, and the 8-9 is the one that's all the way down here, and 5-6 is right in here. So this, and then if you wanted to push further, either one of these, so I'll show you just little tiny bits. The one to the left, we'll keep it to the left. This is that V99. The blue violet almost goes to black on top of those reds, but it works. So you could go either way and get pretty darn good combos. So even when you get out to those darkest berries, you're going to have this little range, and maybe it only goes to an R4-6. You may underlay, kind of do the R08 under it to have those warm tones, but then just use this and cover almost all of that R08 up on that back one, and then that white highlight you would put on top. So one more color combo, check it off. Again, if you guys have requests, put these in the comments about different color combos or specific things you're looking at. I can look for a photo reference. If you have a photo that you're kind of thinking on and would like some help with it, let me know. We could always add that in, but I'll just keep going with my funny little mushroom flower outdoor photos from Alaska. Thanks everybody for joining me. Hope you have a very good weekend and a happy, colorful day.